You know, for years, Netflix was the undisputed king of on-demand streaming. But then, they asked a really bold question. What if they could crack the code on live events, a format that's as old as TV itself? So let's dive into the massive engineering challenge of creating a single, shared moment for the entire planet.
And really, this is the question, isn't it? We're not just talking about sending a video file. This is about delivering a shared, simultaneous experience on a global scale, where there are absolutely no do-overs, no second chances. The stakes are just incredibly high.
So, to really get how they pulled this off, we're going to follow the journey in 5 key stages. We'll start with why this was such a huge gamble for them. Then we'll trace the signal from the actual event into the cloud. We'll take a peek inside their stream factory, find out how they tamed a digital stampede called the Thundering Herd, and finally, see how they plan for things to go wrong, because in a live event, they always do.
First up, Netflix's big gamble. You have to understand, this wasn't just about adding a new feature. This meant they had to completely rethink their entire tech infrastructure from the ground up.
And this right here really nails the difference. The on-demand world Netflix built its empire on, it's predictable. They can stick shows on servers near you days in advance, and we all watch whenever we want. Live is the polar opposite. It's one single moment, one synchronized global event where millions of us hit play at the exact same time. And that creates this insane, system-crushing spike in traffic. It's a totally different beast.
And here's the absolutely wild part. The engineering teams had just 9 months. That's it. 9 months to design it, build, test, and launch a system from scratch that could handle this completely new world and deliver their first global live event without a hitch. I mean, can you imagine the pressure? It's just immense.
Okay, so let's move on to part 2. From the venue to the cloud. This is that critical first leg of the journey. How do you get the raw video from, say, a stadium or a comedy club and get it reliably into Netflix's massive global system?
See, the thing is, live events can happen literally anywhere. A stadium in London, a theater in Tokyo, and not every place has perfect bulletproof internet. So the very first problem they had to solve was, how do we get a rock-solid signal out of any venue no matter what?
So, their solution? It's all about one word. Redundancy. Never, ever rely on just one path. The signal goes from the venue to a special operations center, and then it splits, traveling to the cloud, over totally separate networks. This actually creates 4 independent copies of the stream. It's kind of like sending the same important package with 4 different couriers, all taking different routes. Some might get delayed, but a bunch of smart tech then just grabs the best pieces from all 4 streams in real time, building one perfect signal. Okay, so the signal is safe and sound in the cloud. Now what? Well, now we enter what I like to call the stream factory. This is the digital assembly line where that one perfect feed gets turned into millions of individual streams, all tailor-made for whatever device you're watching on.
This pipeline is where all the magic happens. First is cloud encoding. This makes all the different quality versions from standard def all the way up to 4K so you get the best picture your connection can handle. Then you have custom packaging, which is kind of like a universal travel adapter. It gets the stream ready for literally any device, your iPhone, your Roku, your Samsung TV, and it adds all the security stuff. Third, the little chunks of video hang out for a second in a super fast waiting room they call the live origin. And finally, CDN delivery is what actually shoots the stream out across the globe to your screen.
But you might be wondering, why go to all the trouble of building some of this stuff in-house? Well, the answer is actually pretty brilliant. It's all about leveraging their on-demand DNA. By building their own systems, they could plug this new live pipeline directly into the tech they'd already spent 15 years perfecting. That meant it would just work with the millions and millions of devices already out there, which saved them an unbelievable amount of time. And for that last mile, that final delivery step to your house, Netflix has a secret weapon. It's Open Connect Network. I mean, look at that number. Over 6,000 locations. These are like tiny little video warehouses dotted all over the globe, which brings the content physically closer to you. That's the secret sauce to minimizing buffering and getting that crystal clear picture.
All right, the stream is prepped. It's out there, ready to go. But this brings us to, well, it might just be the single biggest challenge of the entire process. Part 4, taming the thundering herd.
So what is the thundering herd effect? Honestly, it's every engineer's worst nightmare. Imagine millions and millions of people all trying to get through the same single door at the exact same second. The whole system just collapses under the strain. It's the central problem of starting any massive live stream.
Netflix's solution to this is frankly beautiful in its simplicity. Instead of everyone hammering the servers at showtime, they do things in 2 steps. First, way ahead of time, your device quietly downloads or prefetches all the data it's going to need to start the stream. Then, right at the start time, Netflix sends out one tiny little signal. It's like a whisper that just says, "Okay, you have everything you need, go."
And the result of doing it this way? It's just staggering. They can light up over 100 million devices, getting them all on the same page and ready to stream in less than a minute. It's incredible. The thundering herd is completely tamed before it even has a chance to form.
But look, even with the most brilliant plan in the world, live is, well, it's live. Things go wrong. And that brings us to our final and maybe most important section, how to fail gracefully. This is all about building a system that isn't just powerful but also tough as nails.
You know, there's that famous Mike Tyson quote, and it is perfect for live events. Because when something breaks and millions of people are watching, you don't have hours to figure it out. You have seconds. There's no time for slow troubleshooting. You have to have a plan.
So what do? They build a playbook, a really, really detailed one. They absolutely hammer their systems and tests, simulating traffic spikes that are just mind-boggling. They treat smaller live shows like practice drills for the big ones. They predict viewership so they can have servers warmed up and ready. And my favorite part of this whole strategy is something called graceful degradation. It's so smart. If the system starts to feel overwhelmed, it automatically starts shutting down non-critical stuff, like maybe a thumbs-up feature, to protect the one thing that matters, the video stream itself.
So there you have it, from a crazy 9-month sprint to a full-blown global live platform. Netflix basically solved one of the gnarliest problems in engineering. But, you know, this is just the start, right? As live events get bigger, more interactive with things like live voting or betting, it really makes you wonder, what's the next thundering herd that engineers are going to have to figure out how to tame?